up, addicts? Welcome to the weekly watch list. I am your host, Jeff Kohler, aka the Option Addict from www.tradingaddicts.com. Let's go ahead and start in on this week's details. So we're looking at the S&P 500 index right now. In fact, I'm going to zoom in here on about a 6-month chart. We'll look at things a little bit closer. We had a nice little rally up into the end of the week, but things kind of spilled off here on Friday. So right now we're kind of at an interesting point. I think the rest of the market is in agreement with this, that everybody was waiting for the summer vacations to end, people to come back in here on Tuesday, and we'll kind of see where things are at as far as crude oil prices are concerned, where the dollar is trading. But Friday looked to be like a little bit of an anticipatory sell-off where prices really started to crumble. However, from the much broader perspective of all this, I'm not quite convinced that we're on our way back down to start testing the lows. However, I think the first couple of days trading here heading into this week are really going to be instrumental in telling us which direction the market's going to want to trade. So I've highlighted a little bit of a support level, and as long as this holds up, I'm still neutral to bullish on the market. But once this level breaks down, then it's obvious I think we'll start to see the lower end of 1200 on the S&P 500. Now, as far as macroeconomic detail is concerned this week, we've got a lot of employment data coming out, ADP employment, non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, ADP employment, along with Fed beige book coming out this week. So we got some pretty interesting detail coming out. Not a lot of huge earnings releases that I'm aware of. So let's go ahead and dip into what we've got in terms of price patterns this week. I think for the most part, everything here is a triangle, with a few exceptions. A lot of triangle price action going on within a lot of stocks. And by the way, my list was huge this week, but in order to narrow it down, I noticed a lot of good-looking patterns coming up on illiquid stocks. So I've brushed all of those out of here, and here's what we've got left over. So we're going to start off with Foster, ticker symbol FSTR. And I really like the look of this one here. In terms of risk, it doesn't look like the riskiest pattern out there. This doesn't look like the most volatile stock. But I really like the price action. I like the test of resistance here. It's clean cut right here at 40. The lower end measures down to about 36, 35, right in that realm. So we've got a pretty good price expectation here. Plus, we're bouncing off support. So if I wanted to take a little bit of a piece of this pie here in anticipation, I'm pretty much okay with that. Use this level here to manage your risk as always. To me, I like the trade quite a bit. Next is RCII. And this is Rent-A-Center. Again, RCII. And you'll see what's been going on here lately is we've got a nice little symmetrical triangle sitting right at support. Hasn't quite broken out yet, but it looks like it's getting pretty close. In terms of price action, this measures about 4 points wide, and for a $20 stock, we love those. Next is Wesco, WCC, and here's a little pennant that I've got drawn out, broke out. Not a lot of volume, but then again, nothing broke out with volume last week, so watch this one. This is a little bit on the less volatile end. Probably about a 2-point movement would be the expectation, pushing the stock up to about $40, $41 per share. Next is Boom, ticker symbol Boom. And you see I've got this one already drawn out. This includes a little bit of a gap here, which I think is pretty interesting. So I'd set a conservative price target on this one, probably to the tune of about 3 points or so. Overall, the pattern suggests 5, but I'm going to take this one step at a time. Probably about 2.5 to 3 point movement, which will get us right up here to about 33 or so. And once we see how the stock trades from there, then we can determine whether we want to take profits or just exit the trade completely. Next is Digital River, DRIV, and this is one of the few that is not a triangle formation, but I'm looking at this as possibly a double top. And this was pretty much the same setup we looked at in Illumina last week, ticker symbol ILMN, where the stock failed to make the higher high, it turned right back down, and it did so in quite a fast and furious fashion. So the confirmation is going to be right here to break below 42, but this pattern suggests about a 3-point move, low volatility stock. I think it's a good looking trade. Next is Cerner, ticker symbol CERN, ascending triangle. Clear resistance right here at 48. Multiple attempts to break out. Here's the rising lows right through here. Again, we find ourselves right at support in a triangle formation. I like to catch them here because, again, this gives you the option to anticipate the trade if you are that kind of a risk taker, or if not, we're still well ahead of the breakout to plan this in advance. And we're expecting a 6-point move on this one, which, considering the stock price, pretty darn good. Next is JEC. This one's been a popular one. I had a lot of people asking about this in some of the forums. Look at JEC. What's going on with JEC? Yada, yada, yada. Well, it hasn't broken out yet, so there's really nothing to get all worked up about. If you anticipate a trade, then you have to deal with the fact that it might not break out, and that's the risk. But it looks like it's getting pretty close to breaking to the downside, so keep an eye on this one because it is a pretty wide pattern. Next I'm looking at AZO, again, one that's not a triangle here, but potentially a triple top. And I'm watching for a breakdown of about 132 eventually to confirm that, but here we are again right off the highs. You could anticipate here, and it could be worth your while. Next is Parker Hannifin, ticker symbol PH. Series of lower highs, series of higher lows, right off the resistance line starting to turn down. Again, I like it. You'll see that's a theme with a lot of the stocks this week. Next is Compass Materials, ticker symbol CMP. And so here we are. We're right at a declining resistance level. We've got the rising wedge. I talked about this one last week and what would happen if you were to anticipate. And I think right after that the stock rallied up a couple days, but it's still within the formation of this pattern, so it still looks pretty good. I think the breakout's going to come pretty soon this week if the market continues to spill lower. A few more. FMC Corporation. Recently, I like this price action that we're seeing right through here. I'm drawing it from the closing of the gap because I want to keep it real simple, real manageable, and we're looking about a 6-point move or so to the upside if it breaks, which should put the stock beyond relative highs if it were able to break through that. A couple more. Ticker symbol BMR, Biomed Realty Trust. Here you've got the rising highs. Here you've got the falling lows. Looking for a breakout on this. And two more. We got CTX. I don't know if you're going to want to call this a triangle or not, but you can see where resistance lies. And like the home builders, again, that's been a relative strength play. They've been kind of a leading indicator here recently, and this one just starting to break out to the upside. So I like the volume, I like the look of this here, and I like home builders. So what are you going to do? Last but not least, I talked about this one last week, Urban Outfitters. Remember the triangle pattern? It's getting pretty close to breaking here, depending on how you draw it. In fact, you might have already have it breaking. So that's the price patterns this week. Also look for a few dips, rips, breakouts, and breakdowns to trade. Here you go. And that'll conclude the watch list, folks. Got some pretty good trade ideas. Now, I want to caution you this week to kind of slowly dip your toe back in. We've been suggesting that you slightly pull back and be careful during the summer months because there's not a lot of activity, and because of which the market tends to act pretty volatile. But overall, trading volume, traders in general, people are going to start edging back into the market. It's going to become a much more liquid product now to invest in. So I want you to maybe be very careful with some of the trades you take heading in there to the week. Start small. Don't start betting the farm quite yet. And like I've been telling you all along, this market's going to get a whole lot easier to trade. That I'm confident in. So hopefully this gives you a few ideas to watch throughout the week. Do appreciate you stopping by. And my name is The Option Addict. And this here's my watch list. Thanks for watching.
I'm all about having fun. Get a couple of cocktails in me, start a fire in someone's kitchen, maybe go to SeaWorld, take my pants off,